Good afternoon, Dr. Micah Richardson at Cypress Creek Chiropractic with my lovely wife, Mitzi, our nutrition and wellness coach and advisor here. And it is March. Happy March, everyone. And this month, allergies. It's allergy month, so we want to talk to you about allergies this month. We want to give you some great info just about what are allergies and some solutions. So we're going to be talking about this all month, but you know, as we're about to introduce this topic, I really guys want you to think about some questions that you may have for us. We get a lot of them in office, but we don't always get the chance to finish our conversation. So if you've got some questions about some of the allergies, definitely shoot us a question below. We want to make sure we get those answered and things like that. But let's start off about allergies. And what are allergies? People often ask, so what is an allergy?
Well, they're things people hate. Now, allergies are basically an inappropriate response of your immune system to a substance that it has breathed, touched, smelled, something like that, ingested. So what could be appropriate for somebody like a strawberry may not be appropriate to someone else who has an allergic reaction to that. Exactly.
So it's just that immune system is overreacting sometimes and not recognizing it properly. So why do they occur? Some of that can be for a lot of different reasons, and we're going to talk more about this, but the two biggest things that we're looking at is IgE and IgG. So let me talk just a second about those two things. I don't want to overwhelm you, but when you think about IgE, think about immediate. It's an immediate response, and a lot of times that's your itchy eyes, skin, hives, those kind of things that you really, the throat swelling, it's things that you really notice really quickly. Mm-hmm. The other is an IgG response. Now in that response, that is a delayed response. Now why this is very, very interesting is because that delayed response can occur anywhere from 1 to 4 days later. So that means if you have a sensitivity, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that, sensitivities versus food allergies, but a sensitivity to strawberries. We'll use that example right there. You can have a strawberry today but not have a symptom until up to 1 to 3 days later. So that's why sometimes it can be very difficult as we're going through with some of our weight loss people, some of our just people who have this chronic illness and things like that. So there's some of the biggest differences with IgE. There's also IgA, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. But anything you want to add about why they occur and things like that?
Yeah, we're going to talk in the coming weeks about gut dysfunction and leaky gut, but that's one of the big reasons why you have the IgG responses, the delayed responses. A lot of times are that reasoning, but we're going to talk about that coming up, so hold on for a week or two for that one.
Yeah, this is such an interesting, we almost need 6 months to talk about this.
Yeah, no kidding.
There's so much, but just a couple things we want to hit this month is, what are some ways you can overcome this right here? Well, and one of the things we're going to talk about is what? I'll let you talk about a little bit about this.
What did you just point to?
The first one here, yes.
Eating real food. So one of the things that cause allergies is a stress from the foods that we're eating. So we call them in our office frankenfoods, or foods that aren't even real, and that's unfortunately what's super popular today, because we're always busy, are things that are fast, come in a package, a box, a can, a container, anything like that. And so eating those things over and over again, the body begins to not recognize what that is, and the immune system can mount a response to that. So it's kind of tricky to get into right now, but you can also have inappropriate responses even to real foods. So it's not always the answer. There's something deeper than that, and we're going to talk about that later. But one of the ways to bring down that response is to eat real food.
Yeah. Well, and the immune system, we've mentioned that back up here, and the immune system, and the reason why people can develop, and you may say, well, I was fine with a certain food, but now I've developed a sensitivity to it. And there's a lot of reasons, but that comes back to your immune system, which is ultimately controlled by your nervous system. Now that nervous system has those two parts. It has the fight or flight, and it has the rest and digest. So that's your sympathetic and your parasympathetic. Now, your nervous system, it doesn't necessarily think or reason, or parts of it doesn't. Let me rephrase that, which means it just reacts. Okay, a good case for that is people who've ever had food poisoning. If they think about that food or even smell it, they can have some of those same symptoms, even though they didn't necessarily come in contact with it. So the body just reacts sometimes, and that's because of that immune system. But one thing we do is we check the nervous system, which controls the immune system, and that's something super important that we like to make sure that's functioning. Better nervous system, stronger immune system, you can fight this off a lot easier. And the gut repair. Talk a little bit more about that gut repair, because that's really a big thing too with allergies.
Yeah, just to kind of sum that up as fast as possible without getting into it really deep. Basically what happens is over time you can get little, the tight junctions begin to open up, or you can get holes in the gut. And when those holes occur, even if they're microscopic, think about when food's broken down. It's broken down to microscopic levels basically after the HCl, and the stomach breaks it down. They can begin to leak out into the bloodstream. Food does not belong in the bloodstream. And so your immune system is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing by attacking that. So when it sees a piece of bacon floating around in your blood that does not belong there, it thinks that it's a foreign substance trying to attack the body. And so it will attach a mast cell to it, and it will start to attack that next time it sees it. And so that's just kind of in a nutshell why gut repair is important, because you've got to close those gates up in order for that to not continue to happen going forward in the future.
Yeah, and your gut, your immune system is so important with gut relationship right there. It's a
symbiotic
or homeostasis, which means a balance. There's a balance in the body. And finally, you got to reduce stress, and that's just common in everything. Reduce stress reduces inflammation, reduces so many things happening in the body. Yeah. But two great things. I'm going to throw two great things that we really like in our office that we've been using from two different labs. One's called Allercaps. It's for inflammation and helps support the immune system. This is a capsule one that we really like for adults and that we use. The other one for kids and adults can take this one too. It's called Immuno-Chewables. So some of those kids that really need a boost in that immune system, we really like the Immunex Chewable. So that's a great one. Why don't you tell them about our newsletter that we got for the month of March here?
Yes, so we have our monthly newsletter for March is all about allergies. There's tons of great information in here about what causes them, but also products that we have available for them, and also food allergies versus food sensitivities. So we're going to talk about that upcoming in some of our future episodes, because that's kind of confusing, and there's actually a lot of debate out about that, if that really exists. We believe that it does. So yeah.
Great. Well, if you think someone can benefit from this, definitely like and share. Let us know, too, if we didn't get some of your questions answered. We definitely want to answer your questions, because this is a big topic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of misconception out there. There's a lot of false things. So we want to debunk some of the myths, too, coming up this month.
And one more really quick thing, we get this question a lot, is using local bee pollen. That's definitely can help with the this time of the year with the yucky yellow outside. Using your local honey from the local area, using a tablespoon of that every day, that can help you with overcoming if you have a lot of the seasonal allergies.
Definitely. A lot of great things. We want to try to provide as much as we can as we go through this month, but we want you to... Okay, go ahead. She's got something else.
Well, we get patients in here a lot that have come in with asthma inhalers, and we had one recently. She was on a breathing apparatus. Even.
Yeah, she was.
I want you to tell a chiropractic story, because a lot of people don't understand what chiropractic has to do with overcoming allergies.
Well, not to go too deep.
Yeah, you don't have to go into all that.
But really, it comes back to your nervous system controls everything. And a lot of people do come in initially for pain, but really we're restoring function back to the body. And if you think about function, you got to look at structure and function go hand in hand. And that's really where I kind of really dive into people. If we can get you functioning better or structurally better, you're going to function better. And that's really where the correlation. And then really your body is self-healing and self-regulating. So when we can get your body where there's not interference, where it can do what it's supposed to do, is what God intended for you to be healthy, then it does what it's supposed to do, which means your immune system works, your digestion works, all those different things. So hopefully I'll get one of these testimonials out to you. I'll have a patient, we'll do a little talk, and I'll get that to everybody, because it's a great story. But leave us some comments. We want everyone to have a great weekend. Definitely get your water intake up right now. And get outside, be with your family, things to reduce stress. But we hope you're having a great week so far. Let's make it a great March. We know spring break's coming up. Everybody be safe, and we look forward to seeing you next week, all right?